Let's understand the concept map. Concept map means the whole lesson is explained in short in the form of a flow chart. Now, so there are many types of substances present in our surroundings. Now, what are these substances? These substances can be acids, can be neutral compounds, or can be bases. So, it depends what type of ions they have. If they are acids, they are represented, or their strength is represented by how much amount of hydrogen ion concentration is there. If the hydrogen ion concentration is more, so it belongs to acids. That means that substance is called an acid. An acid, what are the characteristic features? Acid has a sour taste. That means the taste, from the taste we can make out that it is sour, so it must be acidic. For example, lemon, tamarind, all are acidic in nature. Orange, these are acidic in nature, which are present in nature. That means I am talking about the natural food. So the strength of an acid is determined by a value which is called as pH value. P stands for potens. It's a German word, and this tells us what is the potence or the power of hydrogen ions. If the hydrogen ion concentration is more, it is acidic in nature. Now come to bases. What are bases? Bases are substances which are bitter in taste. That means the bases will have a taste which is bitter. It is represented by how much amount of hydrogen ions are less or more, or whether the hydroxyl ions are more or less. In case of base, the hydroxyl ions, that is the OH ions, are more in amount. That means the concentration of OH ions is more. So it belongs to base. So I can say in short, bases, the strength of the bases is represented by POH, potence of hydroxyl ions. So if the hydroxyl ions is more, it is base. If the hydroxyl ion is less but hydrogen ion is more, it is acid. When the number of, or the concentration of hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ions are equal, they form a neutral compound. So the neutral compound will have the strength of H ions and the strength of OH ions almost equal. If it is not equal, if it is more towards acidic side, we will say that substance is acidic. But if it is more towards basic side, we will say substance is basic. We will not call it neutral. Now how these acids and how these bases are indicated? From which thing I can say, or what type of thing I can use to say that this particular sample is acidic in nature? I cannot taste it every time. So there are some indicators. There are indicators which indicate whether a substance provided to us is acidic in nature or basic in nature or neutral in nature. Now these indicators can be synthetic or chemical based. These indicators can be natural also. The natural indicators are, there are some type of natural indicators which are present in the flowers also. Now various flower colors are used to indicate whether a substance given is acidic in nature or basic in nature. Some flowers can be used as indicators, like hibiscus flower, shoe flower, which is in common terms we call it shoe flower. The red color shoe flower, if the petals are removed and kept in water for some hours, the water becomes red in color. That red color water is acting as an indicator. We can use cloves, lavang. That lavang or clove, when wrapped in the muslin cloth, and then that muslin cloth will take the odor of the cloves, that muslin cloth can act as an olfactory indicator. Olfactory indicator means which have a very strong odor. Besides some flowers, there are some natural substances which give out a particular smell, and that smell can be utilized as an indicator. For example, cloves, onions, they are the simple things which are available in our surroundings, and which when wrapped in a muslin cloth, after some hours, that muslin cloth can be separated and cut into strips. They have already taken the odor of that particular thing, and that odor is going to act as an indicator. So such type of indicators are called as olfactory indicators. There are some chemical based indicators like phenolphthalein, safranin. These are the indicators which are chemically made. There is another type of natural indicator which is called as litmus. Litmus is obtained from a symbiotic relationship of algae and fungi which is called as lichen, and this lichen is utilized for making litmus paper. Litmus paper is of two colors, blue litmus paper and red litmus paper. It can be made into liquid form also. Now if I make use of blue litmus paper and I dip in a solution, if this blue color changes to red, I can say that this substance which is given to us is acidic in nature. In short, acid turns litmus paper blue to red. Then what about red litmus paper? This red litmus paper, if I dip in a particular solvent or any sample which is given and then we see that red color becomes blue, it indicates that it is base in nature. And if there is no change, that means it indicates that it might be a neutral substance. So this is how the strength is represented by pH, and this pH and pOH can be identified, or what is an acid, what is a base, whether a sample given to us is acid or base can be seen with the help of indicators. Now these acids and these base react with many things. Acids can react with metals, with non-metals, with carbonates and bicarbonates, and acids and base can react with each other. When acids react with metals, the strong metals or the metals present in the high reactivity series, they show a very significant change. That means they react with metals and acids to give out the hydrogen gas, and this hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound indicating that gas is hydrogen. The metals and non-metals can react both with acids and bases. What about carbonates and bicarbonates? Carbonates and bicarbonates also can react with acids by the evolution and give the product of by evolution of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is released when acids react with carbonates and bicarbonates. Then how do acids and base react with each other? Now this type of process is known as neutralization reaction. Here acids and base neutralize each other. That means the amount of hydrogen and the amount of hydroxyl ions neutralize each other and they form water and salt. This process is called as neutralization. Now these metals, non-metals, carbonates, bicarbonates, they can form salts also. As I said, when metals react with acids, they form a salt and they form hydrogen gas. When acids react with carbonates and bicarbonates, they form salt and also carbon dioxide. So salt formation is always there. So what type of salts are formed which we can use in daily life? Now here there are some salts given which we have studied already. So this is NaCl. First salt which we learnt is NaCl, that is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, we have seen that it has various uses and it is a very useful product in daily life. Second type of compound or second type of salt which we learned was Na2CO3 10H2O. What is Na2CO3? It is sodium carbonate. It is attached with 10 molecules of water, which is also called as water of crystallization. And another common name is washing powder. When we use washing powder, actually we are making use of sodium carbonate. This sodium carbonate is used as a cleansing agent, and this is one of the major uses of sodium carbonate. Then sodium bicarbonate. This sodium bicarbonate is used in the baking industry and therefore it is also called as baking soda. And this baking soda is useful for making various eatery items. This baking soda is not attached with any of the water molecules. Here it is formula is NaHCO3. Then we saw the salt as soap. That means soap also can be formed as salt. Now what is soap? Soap is nothing but sodium or potassium salt of fatty acid. So it is also a form of salt, and soap can be the cleansing agent, it can be in the form of detergent, it can be in the form of liquid soap. So soap is also a salt. Then the bleaching powder. Bleaching powder, as you know, we have made use of bleaching powder in daily life. We are making use in whitening of clothes, we are making use for cleaning the bathrooms, we are making use in the purification of water. But what is bleaching powder? Bleaching powder is calcium oxychloride. So calcium oxychloride is called as bleaching powder, and this bleaching powder is very useful in daily life. So this was about, in short, about the lesson 3, acid, bases and salts, or acid base chemistry, where we saw how acids and base react with each other and various salts are also formed. Now let's move on to the question answers part of your exercise.